Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. Today's theme is going to be the yama. So remember, the yamas in the 8-limb yoga path are all about kind of yoga ethics and ways of being. So today's yama is Asteya, which means non-stealing or not taking from yourself for other people. And most people interpret that as not stealing items, and that's certainly true, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that today during our practice. The peak pose today is half saddle. So if you're someone that needs to sit up higher in order to make that work for you, have the appropriate props. You can have blocks, folded blankets, a bolster, whatever you need. And from here, we'll get going. So finding a nice tall seat, think about lengthening from crown to tail, zip up from pubic bone behind the navel, take a slight tuck in the chin. And we'll come into our practice. So just notice anywhere that you could soften just a little bit more. The shoulders, the hips, the face. As you breathe, can you find some expansion in that rib cage on the inhale? And slowly exhale. We're going to breathe with our arms today. So taking the arms out to the side, palms facing the ceiling. Big inhale, arms lift, turning palms away. Exhale as you press down. And let's take that again. Big inhale. Exhale. Big inhale. Exhale. One last time. Big inhale. Reach up there, touching palms together. Exhale, hands in the heart center. Creating that intention for your practice. So I already gave you one, the Asteya, but you're welcome to always come to your own. And when you're ready, we'll inhale and reach. We're going to take a side bend to the left. So taking that all the way over. Reach, reach, reach. Sits bones are grounded. Belly button is in. Arms up. Use the obliques. Coming up. Inhale. Exhale. Take that to the other side. And use the obliques, taking it back up again. Let's take a side, or not a side bend, but a twist. Let's take a twist to the left, taking arms down, rolling shoulders back, maybe looking a little bit more behind you. Breathe and expand. And then when you're ready, inhale and lift. Exhale, come to center. Inhale, exhale, rotate, taking the arms down, rolling shoulders back, looking a little bit more behind you. Good. And then from here, we'll come back to center. Good. So we're going to come to all fours for a moment. We're just going to work through a little bit of cat-cows before we come to a deeper back bend of melting heart. So always cushion your knees or your wrist as you need to do that here. I'm going to spread my fingers wide. I'm rooting through the knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. My knees are under my hips or slightly wider if you've got a cranky low back today. So belly button is in. Inhale, shine the heart forward, tip the pelvis back. Exhale and around. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Couple more times. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. And then from here, we're going to take this into the melting heart. So remember, there's different ways you can do melting heart. Hips will stay over the knees. Some people like a folded blanket or a block, and I'll show you that here. So some you might be on the forearms, and then think about that cow pose, shining the heart forward, taking the pelvis back. This might be all you do today. Some of you are going to take a block or a folded blanket, placing it right under the chest. Good. So now you've got a little support there as you take your arms long. My hips are over the knees. So this might be your melting heart today. Others might be able to take the chest all the way to the floor. for full melting heart. And if that's where you are, good, you can follow me. And we will come here for 2 minutes. Maybe they'll start. There we go. Now, full melting heart, the chin is on the floor. Some people's necks don't like that. So if you need to take the forehead down to the floor to a block, please do so. Breathe and expand, coming into that Asteya, non-stealing from yourself or others. What does that mean to you? Belly button is in. Good. From here, carefully come out in the way that's best for you. Good. As I come back to all fours, I'm just going to round into a cat. So taking the spine in the opposite direction of where we just went. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. I'm just going to come back for a moment. So think about, I'm just going to roll my shoulders back because that's what they need. So coming into Asteya, another way to think about it is, do you hoard? Do you take and hold on to more things than you need? Good. Okay. So we're going to take a thread the needle here. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Good. So these will be 2 minutes as well. I'm going to start. So hips will still stay over the knees. Taking my right arm out to the side, taking that through, taking it here. Good. Now, you might be able to put something under the head for support, but you want to think about a long neck and spine. So you don't want to press the ear into the floor. And we'll be 2 minutes right here. You can use the other hand and arm for support. Breathe and expand the rib cage. Belly button is in. You're in rotation. And from here, carefully come out of there. Good. And just take some movements that would feel good to you here. Maybe that's some neck rolls, turning right or left. Maybe that's some spinal roll work. Find what would feel good to you here. And then we're going to take that on the other side. So from here, good, my left arm's going to come out to the side. I'm going to thread that through. So again, I want a long spine, long head and neck. They're in line with the spine, so I don't have any kinks or anything here. Good. So bring the intention to the Asteya, the non-stealing, not taking from yourself or others. Breathe and expand. And this is one of those poses that I think feels very special the longer that you're in it. So remember, if it's too special, you've got pain, numbness, tingling, burning, can't keep a good breath, then we need to back off or come out completely. Breathe deeper to come into this pose deeper. So be mindful of getting into that ear to the floor thing. From here, we'll carefully come out. Good. And just like before, maybe just get into some little spinal movements that would feel good to you. If it would feel good to you to come back into a child's pose here for a moment, go ahead and take that. If it would feel better for you to come into a crocodile pose, which is all the way down here on the belly, take that one. In fact, I'm going to stay right here because I think this feels lovely. You know, stay in here as long as you need to, but when you're ready, good. In the way that's best for you, we're going to make our way up to a seat. So I'm going to bring in my folded blanket here to sit on. So we're going to come to a Janu Sirsasana type of pose here. So I'm just going to take this here, and I'm going to do this from an angle today. Good. So I'm going to sit here, and I want to have an anterior tilt of the spine. So that just means the tailbone's going to come back, the hip bones are going to come forward. I'm going to take my left leg out, straight out forward from my hip. And I'm going to bring my right foot into the thigh. Okay. So I'm going to start nice and tall. Big inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips first with a long spine. Right before you come to your max and take the arms down. Good. And then your body will just settle in as it's ready. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. So you can always prop underneath your knee here if you need something there, if you're really tight. Breathe and expand. So Asteya, we talked about not stealing from others' physical possessions. What about non-physical things? Stealing or wasting somebody's time? Taking credit for someone else's work and passing it off as your own? maybe stealing other people's ideas without giving them credit. Your body will let you know when it wants to sink deeper. As long as it's safe to do so, you can do it on an exhale. Relax the face. Come back to the breath. Come back to the intention, the Asteya. Good. And then from here, carefully walk up out of there. Good. If you need to take a little bit of a twisty in one direction and then the other, take that. Otherwise, we're going to take that right into the other side. So just switching out the legs. So now your right leg is going to come forward, hip, knee, and toe are going to track. Your left foot is going to come in towards that right thigh. If you need to readjust the hips, go ahead and do that. So interior tilt, tailbone comes back, hip bones rock forward. Good. When you're ready, big inhale, exhale, hinge from the hips. And right before you're at your max, take that down. Breathe and expand through the rib cage. And your body will let you know when it's ready to sink deeper. Staying with breath, staying with intention. So again, the asteya, the non-stealing from self or others. We talked about a moment ago wasting the time of others. Do you waste your own time? Now, that's going to mean different things to different people. Some people would consider, Netflix binges a waste of time, and you can be doing other things. For other people, that's how they relax. So maybe that's not a waste of time to them. But just something to consider. Are you wasting time if you binge 6 episodes in a row, or just 1 or 2 and then go on and do something else? So from here, gently, gently, we'll come out of there. Good. As you need to kind of move in one direction and the other. Good. We're going to come into caterpillar. So this should feel a little bit better since we've gotten to the hamstrings a little bit. I'm going to stay with my folded blanket. And remember, in caterpillar, some people like to have your legs are forward. Some people like to have a bolster or cushion on top, have a little support there. Some people like to take their legs a little bit wider so that the support can be there. You do what you need to do. And then from here, you can also, I don't recommend it so much in the beginning, take a block here if you know that that's where you're going to go eventually. But we'll start here for 3 minutes. So taking the hips into your anterior tilt, tailbone back, hip bones forward, support behind the knees if you need to do that. Big inhale. Exhale, hinge from the hips till you're right before your maximum. And then take that down. Breathe into that back body. Think about this area right here. So asteya and non-stealing. So another way we steal for ourselves is when we are not present in the moment. So we steal from ourselves when we're not present in the moment. So how could you be more present in the moment? Just a reminder, if you're holding on to something yourself or a prop, remember it's a light grip, not a death grip. So even in this caterpillar, where could you soften just a little bit more? And then from here, carefully come up out of there. You'll feel a little bit vulnerable in the backside, so you never want to just pop up out of there. And then maybe taking a little twisty to one side and a little twisty to the other. And when you're ready, we're going to set up for our peak pose, the half saddle. So I am going to just move things around in my space a little bit here. So I'm going to move my blanket a little bit more forward because I do want to sit on it. I'm going to move my bolster up against that blanket to the side in case I want to lie back. So now remember, I'm just going to pull this blanket kind of over to the side a little bit too. So I'm sitting here. We'll take the left leg long first. The right foot will be the one that comes back. So if you're sitting up on blankets or a pillow, you want to kind of move them a little bit over to the side. So if you do take this leg back, then your foot and things don't get tangled up into your props. So that being said, you want to carefully take this back. We never want to just snap it back there. If you've got knee issues, the higher you sit, the better this will feel. We also don't want this knee to be hanging in space. Okay, so that's this is vulnerable anyway, no matter how you sit or do it, but we don't want to make things more vulnerable and more dangerous. So this knee should not be hanging in space. Sit higher if you need to do that, or fill in that space. Good. Now from here, good. I'm just bringing this knee a little bit more in line with my hip because I can do that. It is not a perfect alignment because that's not where my body can go. So be mindful about yours. And then from here, we'll spend about 3 minutes here. Now, the first minute is all about just kind of settling in. And I find it helpful if you take your fingertips and just kind of rub around the quads and maybe even around the calf muscles and the shins, maybe even the tops of the foot. For me, at least, it really kind of helps loosen up some of this fascia here, which is your connective tissue that is all over your body. Okay. So we're at the 2-minute mark. So if this feels good to you and you want to keep working through here, stay up here. If you've got a cranky back, cranky knees, I also recommend that you stay up here. I don't recommend lying back. That will make it more intense. But those of you that are safe to do so, I always do this with a bolster. But you can take your hands back a little bit. You don't have to lie all the way back. You'll feel a little bit more intensity through here. And then as you're ready, you can lay back a little bit more. Now for me on this side, this is about the extent that I can go today. I'm still supported in my low spine with that bolster. But I'm just gonna breathe here. And again, we don't want that knee to pop up. And come back into the present moment. So belly button is always in here, whether you're sitting upright, taking a lean back. Support the front body to help the back body. Or a better way to say that is support the back body by engaging the front body. That's a better way to say it. That makes better sense. So from here, I went back a little bit. I'm going to carefully come out of there. I'm going to roll over onto my left side. I'm going to carefully release the right leg. And then once I've released, I'm just going to kind of rub this out again here. Good. And then when you feel good, we're going to take that to the other side. Now, for the sake of video, I am going to leave my blanket right where it is, and I'm just going to take this bolster onto the other side as I do the other side. So be mindful that knees in your body are often different on one side than the other. So maybe you set one way on the other side and you need to do it a different way on this side. So if you've got a tighter knee, something like that going on, and just know you can sit higher or lower depending on where you need to be. Right leg's going to be forward. Good. We'll take that left knee back. Good. Just kind of let everything settle down. Good. Now today it's not good for me to pull my knee more in line with my hip. So I'm just going to leave it right where it is. And it feels fine. So I know that it is fine. But from here, good. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll be here for 3 minutes. And again, you can start with that rub. We don't want no space under this knee, so fill in that space if you need to do that, or sit higher. So another way to look at Asteya is, and the non-stealing from others, preventing someone else from accomplishing something by your actions or omissions. So that's another way that you can steal from someone else, stealing their thunder, if you will. I think maybe in the corporate world, kind of like people refer to like the backstabbing or whatnot to get ahead. So you're promoting yourself to get ahead, but you're preventing other people from getting ahead. So kind of put that in for perspective a little bit. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good, you can stay up here, or you can start to do a little bit of a lean. So again, coming all the way back, today's not good for me. So I'm just going to be right here. And I'm breathing. And I'm coming into that present moment. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, if you went back, carefully come up from there. Good. You're going to roll a little bit onto the right side as you release the left side. You're going to carefully release the left side. Good. And then you can just rub. Good. From here, when we're ready, we're going to take this onto our back. So you can move any props out of the way, and we're going to come to a final twist here before we come into Shavasana. Now I've got my props kind of ready here for Shavasana as well. We're going to twist the legs. So you might want to take any props in the way there out of the way. So we'll just come down here. Once you come down here, if it would feel good to you to take your knees into the chest for a moment, just go ahead and do that. Maybe rocking side to side. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, good. So we're going to do an kind of an eagle version of this. Good. So I've got both feet on the ground. I'm going to press into the feet. I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to take my hips over to my right. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left leg. So how much you can wrap or whatever just kind of depends on your body. But from here, arms will come out to the side. Good. And I'm going to let those legs fall to the left. I want to try and keep my right shoulder grounded. Now, if this is too much, remember, you can always put a folded blanket or something like that under here for support. And we'll be here for 3 minutes, breathing and expanding. So we talked about ways of non-stealing from ourselves or others, physical things and non-physical things. What about the earth? Do we waste or overuse the resources? Could that be a type of stealing? So remember, you can come back to the present moment. Breathe and expand. So from here, when you're ready, if you need to undo the legs first before you come back to center, you can do that. Otherwise, use your abdominals to bring you back in. We'll uncross the legs, press the feet into the floor, shift the hips back to center, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So let everything reset itself back there. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll take that to the other side. So from here, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips. We'll take the hips over to the left, cross left leg over right leg. Have any props ready if you need that for the side. And we'll take those legs over towards the right. We'll be here for 3 minutes. Coming back to the intention, the Asteya, non-stealing from self or others. Come back to the breath. Be in that present moment. From here, when you're ready, undo the legs first if you need to, or use your abs as you come back to center. Undo the legs if you did it that way. Press into the feet, take the hips back to center, and we're gonna wiggle, wiggle, wiggle center. Good. So from here, let's take the knees into the chest again. Good, we'll rock, rock, rock. And just a real quick little stretchy here before we go to Shavasana. So let's come into a little bit of a figure four. So I'm going to start by taking my left foot down, right ankle crossing over that knee. This might be it for some people. Others, you're welcome to bring this in as best as you can towards the face. You can stay here, you can rock a little bit. So you're getting into the hip of the right side. Good, and just breathe and expand. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll release. We'll take that to the other side. So right foot can stay grounded as you cross the left ankle over that right knee. Or if you're okay with it, you can bring it in towards the face and rock, rock, rock again. And rocking is always an option too. I like it, but you don't have to do it. And then when you're ready, we'll release. Good. Choose the Shavasana that would feel good to you. So I'm going to bring my folded blanket behind my neck here. And I'm going to bring my bolster under my thighs. Good. So some people like props, some people don't. It's all about what's comfortable to you. How could you relax and be in that hardest yoga pose of all, being still? And once you find that place, sink in, drop into the heart center. Maybe come back to that intention once more, Asteya, and what it means to you. Begin to take some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choosing stillness or taking knees into the chest. Choosing to keep the upper body grounded or maybe lifting it up into a C curve, giving yourself a full body hug. And then if you used any props, we'll take them out of the way for right now. Good. Taking the legs long in front of us, arms long behind us, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes, full body stretch, point and flex through the feet. Bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, carefully bend in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your right or left side, the side that works best for your body in this moment. Take all the time that you need here, and when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Good. Noticing how you feel now versus before. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen, touching palms together. Exhale, hands and heart center. Coming back to that intention, the Asteya or your own that you chose one more time. We'll take our thumbs to our forehead for good and true thoughts, to our lips for good and kind words, and to our hearts for open and loving hearts, knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you have a wonderful day, evening, week, month ahead. Namaste.